What's good? What's good? What's good, fans? Thank you guys for joining the Voice of the Fans podcast. This is your man Cleavon, or excuse me, this is your man Cam. I got my man Cleavon up north. What's going on, Cleavon?
What's going on, man? Hanging out here in the 206, man, doing the best we can.
Man, happy holidays. What's the weather like up there in the 206?
It is rainy and cloudy, as it typically is on November the 24th in this part of the country.
Oh yeah. Oh man, it's about 72 down here.
Well, that's cool.
It's
Yeah.
72 down. It was a little a breeze earlier, a little brisk breeze that you see. I got a long sleeve shirt on today, so the
Wow.
long sleeve sweatshirt.
Yeah, that must have been tough for you.
Man, it can kind of get a wind got blowing. Got some sand in my eye earlier. I don't know. It's tough living down here, but Cleveland, thanks for joining us this week. We're going to talk about the Voice of the Fans podcast. We're going to run down as we do each and every week. We talk about our numbers. We talk about this week in history. This week we're going to recap. We're going to start with a recap of the NFL. Week 11 in the NFL. We're going to give our NFL power rankings. We're going to also talk about this week in NBA, and then we also going to touch on the fantasy football leagues, which it's some stiff competitions arising there at the top, but I can only see it from afar, so we're going to make that a short conversation. But I see there's some competition up there brewing, so I'll let Cleveland spout about that for a minute. We're also going to see. Should have a special guest joining us here in a minute. Member of the Los Angeles Chargers, defensive tackle Justin Jones, who's a disruptor for these guys. We're going to have him join us in a minute here. Got some unique conversation for him. So let's get into this weekly one, November 24th, the day before the Thanksgiving holiday, 2021, week 167, Cleveland. So each and every week we get into our numbers, but want to ask you first, Cleveland. Just let the people know what you're thankful for this season or this year, and then before we get into our show.
Probably this year more than ever, I am just very thankful for still having loved ones around that are going through tough times, and just thankful that I'm here to appreciate and hopefully make things better.
Oh wow, that's a promising outlook there, Cleveland. And I would answer the same question by saying, yeah, I'm happy for the health. Happy for the health, happy for my health and the health of those close to me. And I'm thankful we're able to still do the show, Cleveland. It's been over 11 years now we've been doing the show. So appreciate your time, appreciate your consistency, and who would have thunk we can talk NFL football and NBA football for 52 weeks a year now.
Indeed.
So we're starting off this week. Each and every week we look at the numbers. November 24, we're going to use the number 24, and week 167 we're going to look at those two numbers, 24 and 67, Cleveland. And when you think of those two numbers, who are the number 24 best, or who comes to your mind first when you think of that number, rather?
If I'm in 206 mode, I mean, clearly Griffey is on the radar,
Yes.
but I think of Dennis Johnson first for some reason.
There
I
you
don't know
go.
why.
That's because he was a NBA champion in 78 or 79 rather.
And then to throw a wicked funny curveball out there, who wore the number best? I'm going to go out on a limb and say Barry Bonds.
So you gave me three names, and then you come up with Barry Bonds.
Who
So
wore it best? Yeah.
that's interesting. That's interesting. Also, number 67. Who can you think anybody wore that number?
There is a lineman over there for the Dolphins. I believe he even played on a perfect season.
Oh, really?
Bob Kuchenberg. Yeah,
Oh,
he was a beast.
oh, look! Now you want to talk about the Dolphins? Well, to hold you up, Cleveland, we got a special guest is finally decided to join us, Mr. Justin Jones of the Los Angeles Chargers. Justin, what's good?
How you doing? How you doing? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
Gotcha.
We got you. Justin, this is Cam. What's good with you? Got my man Cleavon up in the Northwest. And thank you for joining the Voice of the Fans podcast on, a day before Thanksgiving holiday.
Yes, sir.
Did you take time out the kitchen, man? Did you have to wash your hands, change your shirt because the apron on you was in there cooking or
No. My lady's in there cooking, man. I was on daddy duties, man.
Oh, okay,
Trying to keep the
okay.
little one entertained while she do her thing in there.
Okay. So it's just you and the family. Did you bring people in? How's tomorrow? Obviously you're
No, we don't
working
got no
early in
family
the
coming
morning.
in. We're actually gonna do a friendsgiving, over at K9 house that's gonna be really cool. Got a couple guys over there, guys that don't have no family out here all the way on the West Coast, and we're all gonna get together and have a good time.
Oh, that's super dope. That's super dope. Let the people know who K9 is. I know it is, but
Yeah,
let them-
Kenneth Murray.
yeah. Okay. All right. That's super dope. But are you guys gonna get together, build that camaraderie, keep that going, right?
Yeah, facts.
Okay. So what you get? You got special gifts? You got trick gifts, or you get sentimental gifts? How's your gift buying go, or do you let the ladies take
Well,
care of that?
friends giving more so, just to celebrate the day, so we bringing all type of food and all type of sides and everything over there. So everybody's just gonna have Thanksgiving together. So
Okay.
we bringing board games and everything, and like Monopoly, Jenga, Uno, stuff like that, just to hang out, really have a good time.
Okay. And which one are you best at? The Jenga or the
Probably
Monopoly?
probably Uno, probably Uno. I'm pretty solid.
Uno. Okay. Uno. You play any spades?
Yeah, come on, man. You know I play
I mean,
spades, man. I'm from the
I'm
South,
asking,
man.
you didn't mention it.
I'm
You
from the
didn't mention
South,
any
man. You know I know
dominoes.
how to play spades, man.
You didn't mention any dominoes there. I just got to double check with you, man.
I mean, spades isn't a universal game that everybody know nowadays. Not now that I've come to that knowledge. So,
That's true. See what I'm saying? See why I gotta
yeah,
ask?
you're right. You're right about that.
See what I gotta ask, man. Well, we just want to ask you a couple questions, man. We appreciate you joining us to kind of take your mind off the field a little bit. Um, with holidays is right around the corner, getting kicked off tomorrow. How is holidays in Southern California? You've been out here a few years now. Kind of talk to us. What's that's like? Because you've been being from New York, where it snows. It's been snowing by now, and living in the South, where it can get kind of chilly. Now
Yeah,
you're out here,
facts.
man. Now you're out here wearing shorts and long sleeve shirts during the day. Well, talk to us about that.
Yeah, man. Definitely the mid 70s. That this time of the year is definitely a change of pace for me. In Georgia it's probably like 40 degrees, and New York is freaking. I don't even know. I don't even know what that is. I don't even call that up there. But it's not something I could possibly be in. But Cali's really nice, man. Especially year round. But definitely in the winter when it's really cool and you can really enjoy the clear skies and the sun, man. And just really embrace that Cali weather. Like it's definitely something you can't take for granted. We definitely pay for it. So
Yeah, we certainly pay that sun tax. Um,
exactly.
but is it hard for you getting the holiday spirit with the sun out every day?
Nah, man. I don't think the weather. Obviously, the weather adds, some maybe some aesthetics to it. But outside of that, it's more so spending time with your loved ones and your family, man. Just getting around everybody. Everybody's so busy on the day to day trying to be successful and do what they want to do in life, man. That we miss the small things that bring us together as a family in general. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Outside of working and going hard every day. So.
Oh, that's a great point. That's a great point, Chief. Um, do you play any other sports, or are you a sports fan? Do you like watch the NBA? Do you watch baseball? Or
I mean, I watch a little bit of basketball every now and again, but I'm not the biggest sports fan. But I
okay,
did play lacrosse growing up though,
yeah, you
in high
told me
school.
about that. You told me
Yeah, I
that
played I
about
played
that.
lacrosse in high school, so that was definitely probably one of the funnest sports I ever played.
Lacrosse, Cleveland, as you know, is a much bigger sport on the East Coast, man, than the West Coast. We don't.
Hmm.
There's not
Most
many
definitely.
many more many lacrosse programs out here. It's coming, it's growing. But in high school, you talking about in high school, you played lacrosse. It was further. I don't even think we had a lacrosse field. I didn't see
Yeah,
a
man.
I didn't see a ball or net growing up in high school here on the West Coast. So that's kind of crazy. Um, well, that's interesting, man. That's pretty cool. I know you're a gamer. Um, and what are you playing tonight? Are you playing anything on a regular basis,
Nah,
or
man. Nah,
just
I'm if the guys are on 2K, so I'll probably hop on then. But if not, then I'll just be chilling. Watching some film, hanging out with my lady when my baby goes to bed. Probably help her out with a little bit of cooking.
Okay, so you do
help,
like to
but
get
she
you do
probably
like
won't be in there.
you do like to get in the kitchen though, huh?
Every now and again, I would make a steak every now and again, but other than that, I kind of let her do the cooking because she rather had a whole space to herself to work her magic. So,
Okay, all right, that's fair enough. Cleveland, what you got for Justin?
Oh, hey, Justin. Quick question: who was your favorite football player growing up, and why? I know that for
so
myself, I have different favorite football players at different
okay,
ages and experiences, of course. But like when you were
okay,
like say 10 to 15, who was your favorite player and why?
all right. So when I was growing up, we were I was born in New York, so most of my family's from New York. So the Giants were kind of big in my family.
Mhm.
So for me growing up, I used to watch Brandon Jacobs and Ahmad Bradshaw back there. So when you
Right.
see in college I wore 27. That's where I got it from.
Oh
Okay,
wow,
gotcha.
Yeah,
did you
so
So
run?
did
that's where I got it from. He was a beast.
Did you carry the
you?
ball at all? Did you ever carry the ball? You
Nah,
know, just
man, nah. But I did get a cool picture from a fumble recovery, me trying to pick it up. So I did get that. So every now and again, I'll try to see. I'll try to play it out of my mind if I ever did play running back in college.
yeah. Well, speaking of fumble recovery, you just had one a couple nights ago. Well, not against the Steelers, but
Minnesota, yeah,
Minnesota. Yeah, so that had to feel pretty good, huh?
yeah, definitely did. I thought about trying to take it the whole way, man, but I ain't have control of the ball, so I went ahead and just fell on that thing.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. Now, I noticed something that I don't know, maybe not everybody noticed, but since your return um, from the injury, like that defense is really shored up a little bit more. And then obviously
yeah.
with Linval Joseph out this Sunday, somebody had to fill in the gaps. Talk about that job that goes into the mindset to come into the game, knowing you're missing the big veteran, the house everybody calls them, to
hmm
go in there and still perform against a solid Pittsburgh Steelers team.
Well, throughout the week, all our guys prepare as if they're going to play. And that's the biggest thing, in our room that sets us apart from a lot of different rooms. Like all the guys are really trying to prepare to play. Even if they know they're not playing, they're still trying to prepare. You feel me? So with that being said, like everybody's preparing as if they're a starter. And I think, last week, Braden Fajoco, he showed, the team, himself, just the world in general that, he can fill that role even when, guys go down. And I think that was a big step for him in his career as well. You feel me? Because going into this game here, not having LJ, the team doesn't have those worries and concerns they had last week going into the game, not knowing, how these guys were going to perform. And obviously them putting it on tape, and Bray in particular, obviously taking over LJ's spot, that really the team really put a lot of faith in him going into this week. They're a lot more confident, going into this week, playing these guys off of what he put on tape last week.
Well, that's good, and that confidence. When talk about when you watch film, because I guess, or how do you explain it to me? Because I'm thinking when you watch film with your position group, and then you come together as a team and watch it. And when coaches just pointing out certain things, do I have that right? And when is that? When you guys, when do you get the pat on the back? Is that from your position group, or you enjoy film more watching it with the team as a whole? Or explain that process to me if I got it wrong.
Uh, a little bit of both, I would say. A little bit of both. Obviously you want the approval of your guys, in the room, showing what you practiced on, small things we talked about in the meet room together. You want your approval from the guys just to show them, and so they can see that that we're putting it on tape and everything we're working for is actually showing up on tape, and that's all you can really ask for. As for the position coach, obviously, you want your position coach to have complete and total faith in you, and that's kind of how you do it. You take what you're being coached, what we're talking about in the meetings, and you put it on the field.
That's super dope. Cleveland, you got something else?
Yeah, at this point in the season, your record is probably better than it's ever been. Do you feel a difference from the city being 6-4 as opposed to the other seasons that you've been with the Chargers?
Mhm.
You said the last part again?
Do you feel a different sense from the city with regards to kind of how you guys are? I know
Yeah.
back, in the past, you guys haven't had the same type of success and record, and I guess expectation as you have right now. Do you feel the city starting to embrace you, and do you feel a little bit different in how the city is kind of responding to you guys?
Yeah, I do think we're gaining a lot more fans now, and the record is a positive, but honestly, I think just the energy of the energy of the team is being real contagious, throughout the city. I feel like a lot of people follow the Chargers account. A lot of people see the things that we're doing, and the way the players are talking about the coach, and the way the coaches are talking about the players. Like, if that can't get you excited right there, man, and I don't know, man, because like it just feels different in the building, and I feel like everybody's starting to feel that now, just from watching the games and being at the games, just feeling the energy and so far, like, man, like there's nothing like it.
That's very interesting you say that, Justin, because somebody was trying to tell, somebody said there's a different culture and environment in the air, but sometimes it takes some seeing is believing, if you know what I mean. Because I try to talk to my guy and coach him up and educate him on the game, but sometimes it just kind of takes a few weeks to sink in. So
it can't be hard headed. So it's better to hear from the horse's mouth than to hear a little bit more of the experience that he's going
For
through.
sure, yeah.
Adverse kind of being just kind of in the media room asking the question, although it is definitely infectious because my man has definitely got it and feels it even in the room when he's interviewing you guys, man. Like, this is something special. So he's been on your side for a long time, and it's good to kind of get the same interpretation from yourself. So that's beautiful.
Hey, Justin, is speaking of the city and the city involvement. Obviously, you're doing things to be involved within city. I saw you the other day at the Turkey Drive, so congratulations to you for that. But you've been here 3 years now, going on your 4th year.
Yep.
What's different in Southern California? What are you doing today that you haven't been able to do before? Well, and obviously we have COVID to kind of impact things a little bit, so you're not out and about like you might have been 2 years ago, or just still trying to learn in the city. But what is different? What advantages, I guess, are there for an NFL player today that weren't really available to you maybe as a rookie, or you just weren't familiar with? Can you kind of pull the curtain back on that for us?
I would just say, recognition. When you're walking out in public, a lot of people seem to notice you a little more, as you start making plays and you've been with the team for a longer time. So they start to notice you more, and people have questions. Like, that's one thing I've noticed that that's different, about the NFL versus college. Like, college, everybody's just rooting for you. In the NFL, like, at least for the Chargers fans, like, they have questions. They want to know, like, hey, like, do you really feel the team's gonna be really good this year? Like, do you really feel that? Is that true? Like, the same way, you heard it from the horse's mouth. For me, like, they want to hear it too, and they want to know what's going on in the team. As like, hey, like, asking questions like, oh, like, is practice fun? Like, is that fun, or is that really like work for you? Like, just stuff like that. Like, because people want to know, like, what goes in the day in the life of being an NFL player, and I think that's really cool, because I know as a kid and growing up, I was the same exact way. Just trying to figure out, what goes on. Even I was talking to my coach today about, playing for my junior high school team. And I remember walking past the high school team, I used to be like, dang, man, like, them boys is big. Like, it's crazy. But, you think about something on that scale and you put it, you increase it, obviously, to the level of NFL, when guys are just like, man, like, y'all are the best of the best, man. Like, it's crazy, man. It's definitely a humbling experience. And it's just so crazy, because you never really notice how far up the mountain you actually are until you look back and see how far you come, and then that's always important.
Well, that's important for you to enjoy the journey as well. So we appreciate you taking time for joining us as you make this journey and make that climb up the mountain. So continue. And so you speak about just seeing your high school team versus you being in junior high and seeing those play, but it's one thing to be on a team, wear the uniform, Justin, and then actually making a difference on the field. Like, so that's pretty cool. Elaborate on that feeling when you get from the fans who are actually patting on your back, because your hard work is put in. Talking to your coach, you're having your proper preparation, getting the education from the veterans, and then actually performing on the court. Talk about that feeling, that exhilaration you must have when you're running out on the court through the tunnels on SoFi Stadium on Sunday.
Man, honestly, man, just like I said, just knowing the preparation that go into a week, man, and like just going out there and executing our game plan, like just when everybody's doing that, man, it just feels so good, man. Whether you make 100 tackles, whether you make one tackle, like it feels good knowing that everybody's executing like a well-oiled machine, man. And like that's something that you can't take for granted because it's so hard to win in the NFL, man. Like it's so hard. Like everybody's good, everybody has great coaches, and everybody's trying to win, win the whole thing, man. So when you're going against that every week, and your team can go out there and do that every week, man. I know we have some bumps in the roads, a while back, but we're coming into our own now, and I truly feel that because the team is starting to gain that personality, that dominant personality where everybody's taking like total control of their role and just owning it, and that's so important.
Well, that's super dope. Cleveland, yeah, no, bless you, Cleveland. What you got? Anything else?
One last question, my man. So now that you're in the position that you're in, and understanding that health plays a big plays a big role in your success or failure, other than your mindset, what is the other biggest component for success for the Chargers going forward?
Man, just staying together. Like I said, it's so hard to win in the league, man. It's ups and downs. Like, you just have to stay together and know, you guys are working. You guys are working. Like, you have to know that you guys are working hard. And you have to know that, the team has your back no matter what, what y'all go through. Because at the end of the day, fans love when you're winning, but when things get tough and you guys look kind of rough and it's getting tough, some fans start to switch, you know what I'm saying? Like, right. It's a momentum thing. But the team has to always stay together, like always, through all of that. And make sure you believe in one another, and just make sure that y'all are on the same path. You're on the same stairwell to success, because everybody's working hard to get to the same goal, and that's what makes the team so great. Everybody's working in the same direction. Nobody's trying to do their own thing.
Gotcha.
So a couple more off the field questions for me, and then we'll let you get out of here. Are you into the versus battles? Are you a music guy? You like music?
I like music. And I did tune into a few versus battles over this off season.
Which ones did you enjoy?
I thought Gucci Mane and Jeezy was probably my number one. Okay. Gucci Mane and Jeezy, and then the one with Soulja Boy and Bow Wow. That was probably the funniest one I've ever seen.
That's what I actually missed. You mentioned the one the verses that I actually missed. I didn't get Soulja Boy and Bow Wow.
The Soulja Boy and Bow Wow versus was probably the funniest, because if you think about it, Soulja Boy did kind of revolutionize the whole music streaming like world. Like he did that. He came out and started the whole thing. If you think about it, and it's just so funny because he's bragging about it, starting everything, and it's so funny because Bow Wow can't really not agree. Like he has to agree with him.
Right. So, exactly. Okay. So he said he was setting Bow Wow up. Sounds like.
Yeah.
Which one would you like to see?
Man. I said Drake, probably. Dang, that's horrible, man. It's so many good entertainers out here.
Yeah, so Drake would be a tough one to match up with for somebody.
Drake, and that's kind of what I was saying. I was like, maybe. Oh, yeah, that's tough, man. That's tough. Tough.
Drake? I know Snoop already did one, but it was kind of early stages. It kind of changed the format. Kind of changed a little bit. I think the format really changed with Jadakiss and Dipset. I think the Locks and Dipset. I think they actually changed the format. Before then, it was just a kind of a friendly. You play your song, I play my song. But after Jadakiss and really killed Dipset, I think that format is going to change to actually more of a competition. What's your thoughts on
that? I'm not really into Jadakiss and everything, and I don't really listen to his music like that. I feel like I'm kind of younger, in the younger that's category fair. With that. But I do think it does bring out the competitive side in the music industry. And I do love to see that. I really do love, to see the competition between entertainers, because just like us, they're working on their craft. And, obviously every single one of them want to be the best and be in the conversation of the best. And it's just amazing to see it in their industry. And, just having, and like you said, him changing the dynamic of, what it was. Like I said, I feel like it does bring out the competition in entertainers, man. That's just really entertaining to see. Really entertaining, because you can see how powerful they are in music.
Exactly. There was some competition with Jeezy and Gucci Mane. They were throwing bars at each other.
Yeah, they was, but they also had a lot of off the field stuff, off the
Right.
camera things too that
That
kind of
kind
made
of
it
made it
entertaining
even
as
bigger. Yeah,
well.
yeah.
But to see them eventually come together, with that many fans on the live, like it just you don't know who's watching that. You know what I'm saying? So that
Yeah.
was good to see too.
All right. So last one on the verses. Who could compete with Ti? It would Ti can Ti and Drake? Can Ti compete with Drake? I don't know. Who could compete with Ti?
Mm,
I think you feel like Drake might be overreaching, overshooting. I don't know.
Drake wouldn't be a good competition with Ti. Drake wouldn't be a good competition with Ti. I really don't know, but one I would want to see though. Now that you said Ti, is Andre 3000. That'd be a good one.
Ooh,
That'd be a good one.
that would be that you might have started something right there. You might have
Andre
started something.
3000 will be a good one.
Okay. Are you with you and your family, you and your girl? You getting? I know you got the young one that you guys is bringing up. So happy birthday, Kamaya! Right, coming up.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, December 3rd.
Happy birthday to both you guys. So are you guys into any binge watching TV shows? Are you watching are you binge watching anything? Are you if so, what are you watching?
We tried, but our baby's so young, man, that once she go down and we put the TV show on, man, get the laying down, we get through one episode and it be over with. Like it's time to go to bed. I gotta get
Everybody
up for
going to bed,
practice,
huh?
and stuff, and she got to get ready for the day as well, and
Right.
man, it's over with by the time she go to bed, man. We trying to get our rest in.
I like it. Hey, Justin, man, we really appreciate your time, man. I appreciate your candor all the way throughout, man. Congratulations on your success, man, and we'll hope to have you on again in a few weeks, man, just to talk about your successes.
Hey, I appreciate you, man. Just let me know, man. I'll be available for you.
I appreciate it. Let the people know in closing as you go out. Let them know your social media info.
Oh yeah, on Instagram at 27 Savage. 27 Savage. I don't know what I just said, but type out 20 with the number 7 Savage, and the same thing on Twitter. 27 Savage.
Appreciate your time, Chief.
Yeah, no problem, man. Thank you. Have a good night, y'all.
Yep, you too. Later. Yeah, that was cool. Fans, give you guys a little taste of what's going on. Justin Jones decided to join us. Pretty super dope 15, 20 minutes there for you. Cleveland, your thoughts?
So sorry that you guys missed the epic battle that could have brought the whole versus thing in full circle, man. The marquee is Kendrick and J. Cole, man. Come on, man.
You're supposed to spit that out there.
I mean, you guys were going so back and forth about it. I thought it was just plain, painfully obvious. I mean, that brings the friendship thing back, so it's not so competitive, and you have the best of the best doing it. So, I mean, but I digress. I'll let you guys handle that.
Cleveland coming all late with the suggestion. That was a good one though. That's a good one. So Cleveland, as we talked about the numbers. Thanks again for shout out to Justin Jones for actually tuning in with us tonight. So fans, you guys ought to get a kick of that. But Cleveland, Garrett wasn't so lucky in New York. After Monday, they said thank you. I don't know who's going to join him this week or what link he's going to try to get on, but Jason Garrett was, he was fired. He was fired after their showing against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Whether it was his fault or not. What's your thoughts on Jason Garrett getting the axe from the Giants on Monday or Tuesday, as it were?
Not a lot of pieces to work with. They went all in with Daniel Jones years ago. I don't know if that's really a success story per se. Saquon Barkley was supposed to be the second coming, hasn't been able to stay healthy. They don't really have any receivers to throw to, so I'm not quite sure what type of offense you're expecting him to run. It's unfortunate that he has to be the fall guy. That in and of itself, I mean, it's just time for him to move back to Dallas and, kind of, hey, man, I won some Super Bowls and, I coached this team to the playoffs. I hadn't been there in 25 years. So, give me a little bit of props. Go from there.
Wow, you say you sending them back to Dallas. I don't know that's the move that the moving truck is going to. Nonetheless,
no. I don't mean in the sense that he has any thing to do with the organization. Just that's where he's had his most success, and I mean that's where he can have his most future success because he's had so much previous success. Sticking around in New York. I mean, what's up there for him there? I mean, he doesn't have any, pedigree or cachet there. Might as well take it back to Dallas.
So, man, like you say, there's limited resources for him in New York. Well, limited talent issues in New York, we should say, not resources in that sense. The quarterback, is he a true quarterback or does he panic under pressure, which is he hasn't seemed to stop doing since his days as a prospect. Saquon Barkley, unfortunately, just can't stay healthy. So is that there? They went ahead and revamped. They called themselves getting rid of Odell Beckham and revamping their wide receiving core. I don't think there's as much talent there as they originally thought. So, as you mentioned, he might have been just a fall guy of what was happening there because the quarterback hasn't improved and the running game nor has a running game nor have like you say, what offense do they want the guy to run? So we'll see if there's any changes, but I don't know what the Giants expected to do this season, like coming into the season with the same team that they had last year and just where were they expecting to get better? How were they expecting to get better? And I know one thing is they're wasting Collins's young career here up there, the safety up there. They're wasting his career right now, and sooner or later he's going to say, "I've had enough of this and want to get out of there." I want to ask you about one of your guys. I know you have quick feet that you had in your tennis career. And you're able to kind of jump on the wagon and get off the bandwagon real quick, real nimble like. So I know how's Ryan Tannehill look now that Derrick Henry ain't there. So talk to us about that, would you please?
Ryan Tannehill looks like he's in it for the long haul. He understands the situation.
One situation.
You know what I'm saying? He doesn't have his workhorse. He doesn't have King Henry running the ball.
I thought he looked so
for
good.
3.5 quarters and then just running wild. He doesn't have the best rusher in the league anymore, so he's got to adapt and adjust. But he's got enough moxie. He's going to be okay.
Is he really?
Playoffs.
Playoffs. I mean, come on. They lost to the Houston Texans, and they got a tough one coming up against. We're gonna get to. They got a tough one coming up next week. We're gonna get to him. Don't you hold tight on that. Hold tight right there. But they lost to. Just keep in mind, they lost to the Houston Texans.
They did
on Saturday. So how good is this team and your quarterback, your guy Ryan Tannehill looking right now? Anyone circling the wagons in Buffalo? I mean, is that
not circling the wagons? But
are they fixing the wheels?
You're questioning what type of teams are capable of beating them, and the answer to that is any team that's capable of scoring 25 points can beat them. Which is unfortunate. That offense does not look smooth at all. That defense is always like, "What's up?" They always bring the hard hat and they're ready to get down. But that offense, man, and Josh Allen.
Wait, what? The MVP candidate 4 weeks ago?
Sure. This is how quickly this league changes and unfolds, Cam. Let's look at it from the present day with the binoculars on, man, not with the hindsight, man.
Listen to you. No. I see it clearly. But I'm getting on you and all you other Bills fans, all this who could prompt out of anywhere, saying they should be AFC champions.
Extraordinary. That running game leaves a lot to be desired. And Stephon Diggs, man, is he regressing back to Steph?
Oh, here we
again.
Oh, here we go.
Is he turning back to Urkel, man? No. I mean, because he was like Stephon for a second. Sounds like it's going back to Steve Urkel, man.
Hold on. Is it the quarterback or is it the receiver? Is it the running game or is it the receiver? How you gonna blame all this mess on the wide receiver who needs somebody to get him the ball?
Well, you sound like Odell Beckham Jr. right now, man.
I don't.
That's just my fault. I don't throw the ball to myself. No. Get open.
See, okay.
Make hard catches, man.
Okay. All right.
Play from the offense.
You look for any angle to bash Stephon Diggs.
I think Stephon's on my team, my fantasy team, man. Stephon's my guy, man. I gave him all the props in the world for proving me wrong last year, catching 120 balls, being all pro, all that, man. Okay, welcome.
And
But it's week 11. I mean, where you at, man? We the Bills need you, kind of. I would like to have a little bit more production from you on my team. So yeah,
whoa,
man. Once get yourself together and get with the program.
He said, "Get himself together," as if he's the issue. This is what kills me, as if he is the issue in Buffalo. I mean, that.
Oh, so you're putting this all on Josh Allen, man.
Come on, man. You knew who he was. You knew who Josh Allen was.
Man, you were on Josh's bandwagon, man.
No, you never heard that. No.
You were giving him his props, so he's that dude. He's tough. He's gonna do this and that. Okay.
To your point, though. To your point, and I've been more on Stephon Diggs than Josh Allen. You know that.
True.
So stop playing around.
That's true.
To your point, Stephon Diggs has had 2 weeks over 100 yards receiving. 2 weeks this year, and it is, like you say, it's week 12. So there is some obstacles to be overcome there, but I'm not going to blame it on him. I think the quarterback was playing over his head, and they had a great union last year, obviously. However, the quarterback was playing overhead, and things just ain't flowing like they were last season. But I just wore all the MVP. Nobody was ranking Stephon Diggs the MVP of the league earlier in the year. Everybody was on. A lot of people were on Josh Allen for being MVP of the league for whatever reason. But we see now. I guess they regressed to the mean. To your point, we've seen 8. This is probably the first time this has happened in this young quarterback, or he's not even young anymore. But we've seen 8 TD-less quarters out of Russell Wilson.
What?
There's been 8 quarters where he hasn't scored a TD. I mean, I don't know why you're getting all upset with me for.
Warming, you're just gonna come in with the Russ elbow, man. Macho Man Randy Savage off the top rope, man. Is Sierra back there? Sierra.
No, Sierra,
coming back out there.
I talked to Sierra. I talked to her once a week, man, and we talked about. She was just telling me though how Russell hasn't gotten the end zone in 8 weeks.
Man, look.
8 weeks. Did they rush him back too soon?
Man, not 8 weeks, 8 quarters.
Eight quarters.
Come on, man. I know it's football time, but man, get it straight, man.
8 quarters. 8 quarters. So that's 2 full games that we haven't seen a touchdown out of Russell Wilson.
His finger was broken, almost ripped off his hand.
Almost ripped off.
He came back. He came back in 13 days. Did he come back to days?
Should have been 21 days.
Out, and he's still throwing football, playing NFL games. Okay. That being said, he has been extremely rusty, man, and I don't know.
Okay.
His offense doesn't fit him right now.
Oh, all of a sudden the offense doesn't fit him. I can tell you what might have helped if he had a running back worth a damn that could carry the weight, carry some of the load there, and Russell wasn't asked to run the ball.
Marshawn Lynch is not walking through that door, man. That's we're not talking about that.
Yeah, I just as an update. Just as an update, let's see.
I see. You went to the screen update. Oh yeah, that's real.
This for an update. Let's see where are we with this prediction?
If you were wondering, yes, Chris Carson has been canceled off of my Christmas card list. Yeah,
oh boy,
he will not get one. I'm not quite sure if I'm going to go with the hate mail with it, but he's not going to get a Christmas card.
230 yards, and this is the guy you said you didn't need a running back. You didn't need a running back because we got Chris Carson.
A lot of time and money in. And hey, man, no Christmas card this year.
We got Chris Carson. We don't need nobody. We're the Seattle Seahawks. We make defensive linemen, offensive guards, and right tackles. We don't need no running back. Yeah, okay. Talking about running backs. Running back showed up, left Houston and landed in the 305 there. You got any comments about that?
No comment whatsoever, no.
will that help your boy to attack a blowout if he has a decent
I was
ranking?
not Michael. Hey, hold up. I don't know if you understand. I believe the Dolphins have won a few games in a row now, haven't they? Showing a little bit of life after the way that you've been treating them. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
again,
they play the podcast in rotation over there,
we're not gonna
using
we're
it
not
as
gonna.
motivation. They might get their third straight this week.
I just had a question. I just had a legitimate question about some transactions in the NFL. We're not going to spend too much time on this topic, but I know you and Steve Nelson. I just wondered, has Steve Nelson sent you a gift of any kind for your patronage and
We've been
your
in
support?
conversations about kind of the progressions that Miami has been going through, and
Okay.
some impressive victories here and there, and they've
I
rallied
don't know how
around
impressive. I don't know how
kind of the
impressive they've been.
foundation that they've
I don't
established
know how
and the
impressive they've
culture that
been.
they've developed. So
No,
they're staying the
no,
course.
staying the course.
Might not
We might not make the playoffs
like
again.
make the playoffs.
But this is a course you guys want to stay on. see,
I mean,
see exactly what I'm doing. You say it yourself. You
continue
said it
to
yourself
build,
right there. I didn't even have to get into it. They would stay in the course and
continue
they
to
made the
build,
playoffs in 3 years. Major rebuild. Get the heck out of here.
to rebuild.
The Chiefs upending the Cowboys. Does that say more about the Kansas City Chiefs or the Dallas Cowboys?
Cowboys should have won that game for sure.
So, Patrick Mahomes, you're done with Mahomes.
Not done with Mahomes. I think he's still a very effective quarterback and can do a great many things, but you know how I feel about the film. And if you have too much of it, they kind of start to figure things out.
So again, they're saying they're figuring more. They're figuring your guy Dak out, or they're figuring out Patrick Mahomes. Which one are you talking about?
Now they're figuring out Patrick Mahomes. Dak just didn't have his full arsenal of weapons, so he couldn't do his thing to his fullest. I mean, when he has all of his players healthy and they're clicking, they're probably the best offense in the NFL right now, other than Aaron Rodgers.
Well, that's not the best offense in the. You can't say the best offense in the league right now.
Well, I mean, Aaron Rodgers when he's on the tip top of his game. Dak doesn't have to be on the tip top of his game for that offense to roll. That offense can roll.
Oh well, he does. Yes, he does. Now you have it's week 12. Nobody's healthy in the NFL, as you know, and now they have a gimpy Ezekiel Elliott. They have a receiver who's entered the concussion protocol, and then they have another receiver who you just don't know when he's going to show up.
Yeah, it's a tough.
Are they both? Is number 19 in the COVID protocol, or he's just aloof out there somewhere in the ether? And
it's a tough time right now. Hey man, I mean,
I'm just saying. One guy, CeeDee Lamb. I mean, there's no question his effort, but his counterpart on the other side. I mean, he shows up to field when he wants to play. I mean, he shows up. I don't know why he's on my fantasy team, but he shows up when he wants to. And a lot of weeks he just I don't know where he's at. He might be at an Alabama sideline watching college football. I don't know if he goes back home. I don't know what he does.
Did you just turn on little Nicky? I know you didn't just turn on little Nicky. That's your guy, man.
I'm just saying.
Did you just say something bad about an Alabama superstar?
No, you didn't hear what I said. You're not listening to what I said. The guy the wide receiver who came.
The wide receiver, the way you like those Alabama players.
But again, this is what I'm saying. Is he reminiscing and going back to Alabama on Saturday and not really focusing in on his job on Sunday? What's Amari Cooper issue? Like, why doesn't he stay focused and ready to play?
Sometimes you have a few too many weapons. You can't use them all the same time.
Okay, yeah, well, okay, I'll leave it right there. The Vikings upsetting the Packers. I mean, Kirk Cousins, man, he just does just enough to. Well,
called it on my money line parlay. Woo, that was beautiful.
Yeah, what you win on that one?
Oh man, big cheese. The Indianapolis, Minnesota, Tampa Bay money line parlay.
Cleaned up. Okay, that was my next question. Indianapolis beats the Colts.
Beat them down.
We talked about earlier. The failings with the Colts, but the failings with the Bills and what their offensive struggles are. But the Colts rolled into town like they were the team to beat. Like they weren't 500.
Like they were not the 7-point underdogs.
I mean, man, that's
yeah.
What Man, that was a good call because I didn't see that coming. And that wasn't a close game. That was a beatdown over there.
Beat down from the beginning. That's the way you beat those guys. You don't let their defense jump all over you, right? You keep them honest. You score some points so that the Bills have to reciprocate the point scoring. Different team. Bills get up on you 10-0, man, you're in for a long game. You get up on them 10-0, you feel pretty good about things.
That was a wild one there. So what about the Chargers beat the Steelers in a thriller?
Sure did.
We just talked to Justin Jones. I mean, he again their run game has improved since he came off of IR. So that's a telling sign that not a lot of people would notice. But the Steelers beat the Chargers beat the Steelers. They jump up by 17, let the Steelers come back, and then they finish them off with a pass to your guy Mike Williams. Clearly you didn't see anything in the Chargers this week because you picked against them. But what did that win tell you? Did that win tell you anything else about the Steelers or about the Chargers? Excuse me.
Oh man, that I guess they're not on life support as they would have been if they would have lost that game, being 5-5 in a very tough AFC.
Oh boy, I didn't hear you. You didn't say nothing. You didn't say you talking
above water here.
You didn't say nothing about that when Justin Jones was on the screen with us.
No, I appreciate
you didn't say nothing
all
about
of that. I appreciate all of that inspiration. I appreciate all that enthusiasm. I appreciate all of that energy, man. But if they were 5-5 when he was telling me that story, it doesn't resonate the same as before. not at this point of the year. It just doesn't.
That's cold. One win. You said it's a week-to-week game yourself. You said it's a week-to-week game, and now you don't even want to give them no love. And next time he's on, I am
giving them love. That's exactly what I'm saying. I'm giving them love. 6-4, yeah. The culture speech works. 5-5, man. We're splitting hairs right now. We're down to the splitting hairs. Yeah, it's grimy down here right now.
Ooh, this guy is a tough one over here.
Yeah,
the Eagles up in the Saints. Like I had the Saints. That surprised me. That surprised me this past week. Yeah, that sure surprised me this week. What's your thoughts on the Eagles? And this guy doesn't. I mean, this guy is just so freaking. How do I describe Jalen Hurts? He's just titillating enough. I mean,
it's Charlie Ward, man. It's Charlie Ward.
No, he's not Charlie Ward. Stop it. Charlie Ward won games consistently. Jalen Hurts doesn't win consistently. They're 4-6. They're 5-6 after that win. He's not Charlie Ward, man. Come on, stop it. Charlie Ward was a national champion in college football when Florida was the best of the best.
Jalen Hurts only lost one game at his time with Alabama and won a national championship.
Well, he didn't. He was on the team
as the backup. He was on the team.
He was on the team that won.
And then he went to the other team and only lost 2 games there. I mean, he lost 3 games in college. What are you talking about?
Yeah, you only lose a couple games. You just lose the most critical games.
At any rate,
lose the most critical games.
He does just enough to win and just enough not to beat you. Yeah.
He's like right there on that cusp, but then you get there and you just can't get over the, like what your boy say, Luther Vandross, his curl, just couldn't
quite get right.
Couldn't quite curl.
Quite get right. Didn't quite curl all the way over.
Didn't quite curl all the way over. He just doesn't do enough for you.
Right there. It's almost a curl. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So that's what the Jalen Hurts, man, is. You got a tough decision with the Eagles. They're gonna have 3 good draft picks coming up in this year's draft. 3 good ones. They have the Dolphins draft. They have their draft.
You'll have to give them that $30 million, Cam.
Do you? Like
the ceiling is 40 right now, right? The ceiling is 40 now, so you got to give him at least 30.
But do you, or do you go a different direction?
Have to give Jalen Hurts at least $30 million.
Wow.
So if the ceiling is 40,
you
have to give him at least $30 million.
That's
a
that's
year.
that's a wild call, man. Because I think we've
How is it
seen
wild? You have
because we
somebody
see the
that's
best.
like,
We see the best of them, and the best isn't just quite curl enough. It just doesn't. It just isn't. All the activator we put on it, all the
all the
curls,
S curl you got in the room.
it just doesn't freaking curl. I mean, so here now you want me to say now you want me to act like it's a Jerry curl, but
You guys were saying the same thing about Dak 2 years ago, man. Like, dude, I just cannot give you
no.
$40
In all
million.
fairness, in all fairness, and let's go back. Not Cleveland. Not a lot of people know that. And I don't think we even really spoke about this on the show, but the year Dak Prescott came out of college, he came. If I remember correctly, he came out with Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield has a run in with the police, and that gets swept under the rug. And Baker is the number one draft pick of the draft that year. Dak Prescott has his run in with the police, and he goes from a probable second rounder to a fourth rounder with a bad attitude and a bad checkered past. Who's the better quarterback? We see who the better quarterback is, and as much as a Baker Mayfield a fan I've been since he's been in the league, Dak Prescott's been a better quarterback in the NFL than Baker Mayfield.
Sure, but you're making a Dak comparison to Baker. I was just saying that Dak, given the fact that people thought that he was very similar to Jalen 2 years ago, in 2 years from now, what are you going to think about Jalen? And you certainly got to give him 30. Not saying that I believe in him wholeheartedly. I wouldn't want him being the signal caller for my franchise.
Oh, listen to this
but
guy. But if you
gotta
had
give
him, you
at
got to
least
pay
30
him.
million.
If you had him, you have to pay him. That's what you're saying. If he's quarterback in your Seattle Seahawks, you're not looking for another quarterback. Is what you're telling me.
No, I didn't say anything remotely like that.
Well, you say you
I
have to
said the
pay him.
market. I said the market for him is 30 million.
That's interesting. That's interesting because I mean you're not wrong. He wins. He does just enough to keep you get you all hot and bothered, and yet the job isn't done when you think to this point he hasn't finished off the job, and that's kind of what I think of. That's what I think of him. Seahawks fall to the Cardinals, man. What's the issue here? Talk to us. Is it Russell's injury? He came back too soon. Is it the defense? Is it I mean, we already know they don't have an offensive line. They don't have a running game. So if Russell doesn't do it, it just doesn't get done. Is that where we're at?
This time it's not the defense, Cam. The offense sucks, and this roster kind of sucks.
And what's your boy Pete up there saying? Is Pete got a wearing blind eyes, or is he saying nothing to see here? Or what's Pete's conversation like?
Pete actually walked out of the last press conference in frustration, like he's never ever done before. Took a 20-minute breather and came back, man. He said, "I'm just not used to losing like this, man. It's been quite some time."
Oh, Pete, just walking out.
He's starting to feel a little bit, but yeah, he's starting to get a little bit repetitive. I don't like the George Karl syndrome. You know how I feel about George Karl, man.
Oh, so days are numbered for not only Pete but
no,
Russell.
I did not say that. I mean, now you're jumping to even greater conclusions. Wow,
wow, this is bananas.
I didn't say they shouldn't be. I didn't say it shouldn't be for consideration. But no, Pete's days aren't numbered around here.
So I mean, so what are you doing? You're just gonna let him run the program down into the ground?
That's how that goes. Sometimes when you have enough success, they allow you to just run the program into the ground.
And you're a lifelong Seahawks fan. You're okay with that?
I'm not okay with it, but I understand that it's it's unfortunately going to happen.
If it gets progressively worse over time, over multiple years now, when do you pull the plug? It says enough, Pete. Thanks for your time. Thanks for everything you've done.
He gets all of this year. He gets all of next year, and that next year is when the axe falls.
So 2000. This is from a Seattle native, the native of the Pacific Northwest, wearing his proud University of Husky. We shouldn't ask him. We shouldn't even consult this guy about winning because he's wearing a Husky shirt, a Husky jersey. We shouldn't even consult this guy about winning. But he's saying from a Seattle Seahawks, a Seattle native perspective, Pete gets 2023 before he's on the blocks. And you're coming out with new uniforms. You're coming out with a new collection of jerseys that you're going to ask the fans to buy, but you're going to let your coach wallow in peril for the next 2 years.
That's what back-to-back Super Bowls and 10 straight years of playoffs gets you. It gets you at least that much of a leniency.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what the 10 years playoffs gets him. So let's run through our picks this past week, Cleveland. You had Miami. I had the Jets. Good call by you.
Mm-hmm.
We both had New England. You had Indy again, so good call by you. We both had Baltimore. Both had Cleveland. Tennessee. We both had Tennessee losing. You had Minnesota over Green Bay. I'm just noticing a trend here. You had New Orleans you had Philly over New Orleans. This is an ugly trend we got going here, fans. Carolina, we both had Carolina wins. We both
that was the one that tripped me up, Cam. The world could have been different today.
If Carolina won the football team. Oh,
could have been different today.
You know we hate that Philly. San Francisco, we both had San Francisco. Cincinnati, you actually I gave you a point too much right now because you had Dallas. I had KC. KC won that game, as we know. We both had Arizona. We both had Pittsburgh. Chargers went ahead to upset. For some reason, I thought I had the Chargers in that game. When I come back and look at the score sheet, I had Pittsburgh.
Sure
and
did.
we both had Tampa Bay.
You were somewhat concerned as well, yes.
So we look back at it, Cleveland. I gave you an extra point, so it should be 11 to. It should be what 10 to 8. No, excuse me. It should be 11 to 8.
11 to 8.
Yeah, right now it's instead of 12 to 8, right?
Mm-hmm.
Picks against the spread. I was over.
Oh, I know I went Barry Bonds on that one.
I was over. I
went Barry Bonds on that.
I had the Jets, New Orleans, and Tampa Bay.
What I had?
What did Tampa Bay score? Let me double check here. I may not have been over. Let me check that because if I remember correctly, that was the 19 to 30, and that would have me in the winnings right there.
Okay,
let me
so
double.
Take that
Let me. I'm sorry.
It was 30 to 10. It was 30 to 10 because it went under. I know.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah, he knows. Okay, so let me take. So I wasn't over. I was one for 3.
One for.
Cleveland had Minnesota, Cincinnati, and Indy all against the spread, and he went trifecta. That was the first time he went through for 3 for 3. But he won 3. He got those correct, so he wins in the points against the spread in our pick segment. But there would be no trifecta, folks. There would be no trifecta because our confidence picks for this week. He had Carolina, Cincinnati, San Francisco, Tennessee, and Tampa Bay. Cincinnati, San Francisco gave him 5 points. Tampa Bay gave you another 5 points. So a total of 10 points. I had Tennessee, Cleveland, Buffalo, New England, and Tampa Bay. Just a word of note right here. Are we seeing the best coaching Bill Belichick has done in his career?
No, that was when he took Matt Castle to 11-5 that one season.
No, they were already solid though. They were already solid. So what we're seeing now this season is, we're seeing a team that's 6-4, 7-4, leading the AFC East again. Buffalo, Bill Belichick has changed quarterbacks and leading them with a rookie quarterback. Who would have thought? Who would have thunk it? So I had Cleveland won, gave me 2 points. New England and Tampa Bay together gave me 9 points. So I won the pick segment or the confidence picks there. Our supremacy rankings from last week, and they will change. They will change later, and we will reveal them later. But from last week, it was the Packers, Titans, Cowboys, Cardinals, and Ravens for me, and it was the Cowboys, Packers, Buccaneers, Cardinals, and Titans for Cleveland. So there will be some changes in there, and we'll discuss that here after our NBA segment. Anything you got to say about Bill Belichick kind of doing his thing? Oh no, no prop for Bill, no prop for the head coach.
I mean, he plays in a division with the Dolphins and the Jets, man.
See, here we go. Oh,
and,
see,
and, and the Bills,
see,
and the
there you
Bills,
go.
and
See,
the Bills still trying to find themselves out there.
My
trying to
goodness.
understand, what it
Oh
means
my
to be
goodness gracious.
a big dog.
Oh my goodness. So you just discounting all Bills wins. That's what it sounds like to me.
For the most part.
Oh wow. And he's not ashamed about it, fans. He's not ashamed about it. Fans, let's take a little quick break. Cleveland, let's take a little quick break right here, man. We'll come back. We're going to talk about the NBA. We're going to talk about the new cheap shot artist in the NBA and how he only walks away with one game. That's what we're going to get into as soon as we come back here.
You talking about James Harden?
Yeah, well, we're going to talk about the cheap shot artist. Let's take a little break here, and we're going to come back and talk about it.
45.
Yes, sir. Yo. Cleveland.
Yes, sir.
So the NBA, as we know, is different. The NBA today is different than NBA we grew up on.
Yes.
And when I say that, the NBA we grew up on, I'm talking about the 80s when Robert Parrish used to throw elbows. The Cap used
Bill
to.
Lambier, Kevin McHale, clotheslining Kurt Rambis. Isaiah Thomas getting his finger bit off. Yeah. It was physical.
So today, we all agree the NBA is different.
Yes.
They wanted to legislate that stuff out the game. They didn't want any malice in the palace. They didn't want any 84 to 83 games like the New York Knicks and the Miami Heat used to play, or the New York Knicks and the Chicago Bulls used to play. They don't want any of those roughhousing stuff. So they changed the rules. And when you get a guy who's already 6'8", 260 pounds, some would say, going You're unable to touch him, unable to put your body on him because they're going to call a foul. So he has a history of just kind of waltzing straight to the hoop. And now when he touches somebody and actually gets a foul, he's irritated. And part of the irritation spills over, and the guy's trying to, defend him and box him out as you're taught to, kind of get low and put your butt into the guy and keep, back him up with your butt to try to keep him away from the ball. This guy I'm talking about, your Los Angeles Laker, your leader for the Los Angeles Laker, decides to cheap shot the other guy. And he gets one game, Cleveland? One game for the quick. I mean, this he was like Mayweather quick with the flick of the wrist, elbow hit the guy right in the brow, right in the tender spot, draw blood. And my guy Isaiah Stewart, University of Washington. I'm interested to see which way you go. Here. Cheap shots, your guy, University of Washington graduate.
Not graduate. He went there for a year.
See. You see, he can't even get a graduate.
Whoa.
He can't even get the graduate label.
You don't graduate after 1 year. Damn, I don't know if you know how this works at the university level, but you don't get a degree after 1 year, Playboy.
Hold on.
That's not the way it works.
Oh, so he can't even claim he can. So when they put on the screen,
he can claim that he went there. He cannot claim alumni.
Isaiah Stewart, he can't claim an alumni. He's not even welcomed by an alumni now.
He absolutely is welcome to come back.
He's not even welcome to be an alumni now.
Come back anytime he likes. But when you start the sentence out with graduate and he went there for 2 quarters, yeah, man, come on. That's not a graduate.
Oh my goodness! So now, fans, we know where his loyalty stands because he got cheap shotted by LeBron James.
First off, Cam, if I could grab the mic real quick, I'm a big fan of Isaiah Stewart. He did a lot for the program. He's
don't sound like it.
A class guy, quality young man. Okay, what happened here? And I'm a little bit
biased. Yeah, a little biased. Yes,
the league reacted to it. Was that he
got
a little bit under the Kang's skin, and the Kang reacted in a way that he just, he doesn't really realize his strength and his quickness. You know what I'm saying? He just kind of twitched out. You know what I'm saying? It was like all of a sudden, it was like, oh damn, I hit him with all my force and quickness, like really, like right, on the spot. I didn't really do that.
So this veteran of what LeBron's been in the league 19 years now, this veteran of 19 years, you're telling me doesn't realize the strength and the power that he has.
He didn't realize how quick he had turned, and it was just a reaction, right? And like you said, LeBron is 6'8", 260 and got lightning quick hands. So when he did it, it was like, oh man, he instantly tried to apologize for it. Because he realized he had cut my man's face open.
Everybody says this. I didn't see no instant try to apologize.
He instantly realized what happened. He tried to apologize that he, smashed my man's face open.
When did he try to apologize? When the guy was on the ground, with face to the ground and holding his eye? When the guy got up and blood is gushing?
Hey, look, what should have happened is that the league should have been investigating it. LeBron should have appealed that suspension.
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! He
played in New York.
Oh my goodness!
Played in the Garden. I mean, how you gonna?
Oh my goodness!
The King only gets to come to NYC one time. How you gonna suspend him for the Knicks game? Come on, man!
Oh my goodness!
Appeal that. LeBron plays in the Knicks game, and then sits out the next game, wherever that is.
Oh my goodness, this is absolutely bananas. We have this guy saying LeBron should have appealed the 1 game suspension. He should have got a week. Not 1 game. Well, however many games, 3-4 games they play in a week, he should have got a week suspension. Not 1 stinking game. Not one. And this guy is going to say and then he's going to say, well, Ma, he can't miss the biggest game of the year. Ma, let's. Then you're going to say he should have appealed the game and played.
Appeal the suspension, play the Knicks game, and then you let the chips fall where they may. But you don't leave the marquee player off the Knicks game. That's just not how you do things from a business perspective.
Oh my goodness gracious!
Especially when it's such an unintentional thing. It's not like he punched the dude.
What do you mean unintentional?
He just turned. He doesn't realize how fast and how strong he is, Cam. He just turned real quick and hit dude in his face.
There was an elbow and then a flick of the wrist.
He didn't mean to.
What do you mean?
He didn't mean to inflict that type of damage on that dude's face.
Oh my goodness! I don't even know where to go, fans. I'm so speechless over here at the guy who's always talking about player safety. At the guys on your mental health is all you got. The guy who's want to be so precautionary at every turn. All of a sudden now he says the guy who cheap shotted another player should have appealed the suspension. I don't know where to go with this guy.
Wasn't a cheap shot. It was him not knowing his own speed and strength.
Oh my! And he says it with a straight face too. I'm lost. So Isaiah, all I got to say is Isaiah, do not call Cleveland Steel when you get to Montlake to try to ask him for anything, some favorable attention down there, because you see he has none for you. You see he don't have any love for your time.
Isaiah, continue doing what you're doing, man. You're an overachiever, man. You help to try and resurrect the program, man. You're always welcome at Montlake.
You ought to be ashamed of yourself, Cleveland. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. So since you're so glowing of LeBron James and his capabilities, can he? Because it's going to take him singularly, or him and Anthony Davis maybe. Can he and Anthony Davis and Russell Westbrook recover from this bad start that they've had thus far this season?
You know, presently the way this team is constructed, Cam, I don't like the chances. It doesn't look good.
Who would you blame for the construction of the team, sir? Who would you blame on that?
I don't know if there's anyone particularly to blame for it. I think that it just has not unfolded the way that they had anticipated. That Kent Bazemore, wow, that dude is, man, garbage.
Oh wow! So now we're not even at the halfway point, and he's calling one of the stars of his team garbage. Interesting. Isn't he a starter on your squad?
Yeah, that's a problem. And Russ is still. I don't know what Russ is doing, man. Usually,
he's trying to stay alive, and he's trying to make fans happy. Trying to make these Laker fans, these unsatisfiable Laker fans, happy. He don't know what to do.
It's not unsatisfiable. You just have to win a championship.
He don't know if to go off for 30. He don't know if he should go off for 30 or he should have a double-double. Because you guys don't get all fixated on kind of stats and how that looks in the record books.
Oh, wow. Really? The walking triple-double? Man, why don't you just keep walking into triple-doubles? Why don't you just do that?
I mean, one night you ask him to do that? Well, that's not good enough one night. And then he goes off for 30 the next night. Everybody's
you need to stick on the other side of the Staples Center. Okay.
I'm just saying, what are you guys happy with? You guys want your players to cheap shot everybody.
Cam, you need to stay on your side of the Staples. Oh, I'm sorry. What's the new name of it that they sell for $700 million? Crip House.
Crypto. House. So are they going to change the colors? Do they change the colors? Now they're going to be criminal.
Well, I mean, they do in a light blue substance.
Are they going to go with the Minnesota?
They're in a light blue substance. I'm just saying.
Are they going to switch to that permanently? The light blue, the Minnesota.
I don't take it that far, Cam. I don't take it that far. They might not take it that far, but they do still.
That's going all in though. That's going all in into the Crypt Dome.
They play at the Crypt Mobile.
Hey, Michael Porter Jr. apparently is going to need to undergo season injury-ending back surgery, and that gives your Lakers life. I mean, because that takes one of the top 3 teams in the Western Conference, kind of takes them out of the mix. They're going to be missing Michael Porter, even though they have the last year's reigning MVP. They're also missing Murray, and so now you take two of their premier stars out of their backcourt. And Jokic is good, but he ain't that good.
True.
What does it say about the Nuggets and their potential in the NBA?
Huge risk to sign Michael Porter Jr. to that type of contract, given the track record with his health as a freshman in college till now, and you're just paying for it.
I mean,
It's
they had to
unfortunate.
pay him. They had to pay him though. They can. You talking about? We were talking about the guy earlier. That was the market was calling for you to pay him. So you had to pay him. Yeah.
So do you let the market call for that? So then you pay it, knowing that the chances of him being injured
You had to
are
pay it
extremely
though. What do you
great?
mean? Just what I'm saying. You had to pay it, just like you're talking about Jalen Hurts. That's what the market calls for. Excuse me.
No, but Jalen Hurts doesn't miss games. This guy
No,
is
no, no,
already
no, no, no,
been
no, no,
injured his
no.
entire career.
Yeah, but the market called for that. Do you not? So now you don't pay. You choose not to pay your number 14 pick in the draft. And
Yes, there's a reason he was 14.
yeah,
He's already missed an entire year with this back thing
yeah,
before,
yeah.
and then he missed half a season the year after that. When he's healthy, he's awesome. When he's healthy,
But you gotta.
you're just not gonna. I mean, look how many people paid Bill Walton over and over again, dude. Like your feet are jacked up, man.
This
There's
might be the
no
same.
doubt about this.
This might.
But let me take on the burden of paying you all of this money because when you're healthy, you can ball. They knew Michael Porter Jr. was like this, man. So
I mean, this is a tough situation, man. We're realizing today, Cleveland has no sympathy for anybody outside the Lakers organization. And if you walk through Montlake, you have to walk through 4 years consecutive before you can get any love from those
not
guys.
at all. Just before you can be called alumni and get some of the props that you were trying to give him. Graduate, I believe, is what you refer to him as.
Woo! He was offended. He was offended for
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. Having
offended.
spent all that time, blood, sweat, and tears and effort,
He was
and
offended.
financial hard ache. Yeah, I'm a little offended. You get a graduate status after a year. You don't get that. So sorry.
I mean, what do you say? Jimmy Lake he didn't even get 12 months, did he? Because
He coached last year. He coached 2 years.
Oh, he got 2 years out of the deal. 2 years.
Yeah, and they cashed him out. I mean, yeah.
Oh, look, you're like, yeah, move on. We move on. We're good. That's so amazing to like they like
they do in the SEC. Okay, all right, yeah, that didn't work out. We're good. It's time to move on.
Yeah, but they're not the SEC. They're not in the SEC. That's the problem. That's a whole different. That's a whole different thing right there.
So only SEC schools can say thanks for playing. We've had enough of you.
Well, there's an expectation of winning down with those guys down in the SEC.
Oh, and there's no expectation of winning at Monmouth.
Well, there's a false expectation of winning apparently here.
False sense of expectation
down there. Okay. I mean, you cross the Montlake Bridge. I don't know. Apparently, you guys are superstars and you guys have a legacy of winning over there. Apparently, I'm not familiar with it, but apparently, once you cross Montlake Bridge down there, you know the bridge that tilts up and that's the water.
It's unfortunate you're not familiar because I mean it has the fourth most players in the NFL. So
how much has that program won? Let's stay there. We have to go look back in the history book. We have to get. I don't even have a book here. We have to get in the history book and go back to the 90s to where there was a consecutive winning tradition over there. Am I right?
I mean, I guess it's similar to, in other sports where you got to go back, a couple of decades to find out, last time they were in the Super Bowl. I don't know. There's some teams like that. Or some teams, never ever been to the NBA Finals. I mean, some teams.
All right, let's stick with the NBA. And talk about the NBA Finals and legacy. Are the Bulls really real? You still don't believe in DeMar DeRozan, Jimmy Levine?
They did come to LA and
smack them around.
Out.
What are you talking about? What are you talking? Smack both teams.
I mean, if they can play like that all the time, ooh, yeah. I just don't believe they can.
have you seen them though? Have you
I
watched
did.
them?
I watched all of that game. It was like, wow,
Bro, they're not doing
those
anything
guys
different.
are
DeMar
definitely
DeRozan, DeMar
feeding up,
DeRozan,
feeding off of one another, and they look kind of cool.
DeMar DeRozan is definitely the argument against DeMar. So let's back up. DeMar DeRozan, LA kid, his sin in his career is he's not as good as LeBron James and Kawhi Leonard. That has been the single sin of his career. He couldn't beat LeBron when he was in Toronto, and he's not Kawhi Leonard. So Sacramento, or not Sacramento, San Antonio didn't have the respect that they ought to had towards him because he was not Kawhi Leonard. Outside of that, man, he's been spectacular. He's been a consistent bucket, as you call it, his whole career. Now he's in Chicago, where he can pair him with Levine, and Levine has somebody else to score off of, and then you mix that in with Adam Caruso. I know you're familiar with Adam Caruso. I know you are, as much as you watch the Lakers.
Hey man, look, Alex Caruso. You're not going to jump to Alex Caruso before Lonzo Ball. I mean, Lonzo's been balling, man.
Okay, well, either one, both
So
those guys.
the
Both
Laker
of those guys.
outcast. I mean, you don't have to bring him back up, man. That's cool.
I mean, but now you got four. Now you got two of those guys, so that you got a good roster there, a good core roster to start with, and you don't think that's sustainable, huh? Okay, now see, as soon as they leave LA, they're no good. This is per Cleveland. As soon as they leave LA, they're no good per Cleveland. So I'm gonna ask you the same question involving some same similar players who's been cast off and headed to Washington Wizards, where you have KCP, you have Kyle Kuzma in his overlarge gear, and you have Montrezl Harrell. Be key factor to the Wizards. Are the Wizards really real? And you mix that in with Bradley Beal. What do you think of the Wizards?
I like the Wizards. It's a collection of people that are bitter and angry that they're no longer part of the Laker organization and all of that, all of what comes with that. I mean, that's got to be quite a culture shock to one day be hanging out at Magic's house, and the next day you're at Avon Barksdale's corner. Like, wow, what happened here?
So both those teams are the Chicago Bulls are 12-7. The Washington Wizards are 11-7, 3-4 respectively in the Eastern Conference. And you don't have any confidence of them continuing this.
I mean, they'll make the playoffs for sure, and maybe one of those two teams will get to the second round.
Okay, which one of these teams will miss the playoffs in the East? The Celtics. Well, excuse me. Which one of these teams will make the playoffs in the East? I should say. The Celtics currently number 7, the Bucks currently number 8, or the Sixers currently number 9.
Sixers.
The Sixers make the playoffs. They come back to make the playoffs. Mm-hmm. Are they going to trade Ben Simmons? Is he going to come back? Ben Simmons going to come back and play for him? What's still?
They're going to trade Ben Simmons.
Okay, all right. Well, it's getting kind of late in the season for
Draymond Green.
Ooh, are you familiar with the Wizards or excuse me, not the Wizards, what the Warriors are doing right now?
Have to see how Clay comes back. If Clay comes back and he's playing like super duper, yeah, man.
Draymond's gone. Ooh, I don't know about that one. I don't know. That move would have already been made if that was a potential.
It gets made once they see what Clay has.
Well, we're looking forward to see that we're looking forward to seeing that here happen right away. What's your anticipation with Clay? Do you expect Clay to be? What's your expectation of Clay? Do you expect Clay to be that solid?
Not this year. I'm hoping to kind of see some more improvement next year. This year's just kind of trying to stay healthy and get your legs back under you.
Okay, I asked you this question a couple of weeks ago, but what rookie has impressed you in the NBA thus far?
Other than Mobley, no one has really stood out. Cade is starting to have, flashes of brilliance here or there, but Jalen Green has his moments, but nobody really sticking out.
Because no consistently sticking out.
No, not at all.
What about Barnes for the Nets?
Nah, man.
Hmm. You just over the Nets. You just try not to root for the Nets.
No, I mean it's not like, ooh, did you see what Barnes did? I mean, I've had not had too many moments like that. I mean, if you're just talking about statistically wise, he might be the most consistent rookie so far. Contributing to a winning team, getting some victories, but nothing makes me say like, ooh, we need to like game plan for that guy. No.
So last week you submitted your NBA supremacy rankings. You gave me Golden State, Washington Wizards, Phoenix Suns, Chicago Bulls, and the Utah Jazz. What changes have been made to that list? Or
Nah, I like that. Run with that.
run with that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the Wizards aren't in my top five. I had the Golden State Warriors, Chicago Bulls, Miami Heat, who you left out, the Brooklyn Nets, who you oddly left out, and the Phoenix Suns. Yeah, I think that's more accurate of what's going on here in the NBA.
So Brooklyn's got it back under control.
We're still waiting on Mr. Aloof right now. We're still waiting on him. He told us that he beginning of the year, probably Martin Luther King Day, he's gonna try to make his triumphant return.
Uncle Drew. Uncle Drew's
Yeah,
coming back.
yeah.
Okay.
We're told about Martin Luther King Day, that celebration. Like he wants to make it the famous.
Well, I mean, whenever he's ready to come back, I'm sure the Nets are happy to have him.
Oh, they'll be very happy to have him.
Yeah.
Let me tell you.
Yeah.
Cleveland. So let's take a little break here. When we come back, we're going to talk about this week in history, and we're going to wrap up the show. We'll get your feedback on the Crawford Porter fight, and what you learned from that fight, and then we're going to talk about our pick segments for the week coming up. So let's take a little break here, Cleveland. You good?
Good to go.
All right, fans, as we do each and every week, this is this week in history, looking back at this week and what happened in our lifetime some years ago. Garrett Morgan invented and patented the first traffic signal, November 20th, 1923. Close to 100 years ago, Cleveland, that has been patented. I wonder how much credit he gets for that. Because are you familiar with Garrett Morgan?
Ironically, when you said that, I remember hearing that in a KRS-One song, "You Must Learn." That was the first verse he came out with.
Yeah. November 10th, 1893, Black Muslim movement initiated in Detroit got started in 1930. Excuse me, in 1930, not 1893. The Black Muslim movement was initiated in Detroit. In 1955, November 25th, segregation in buses and terminals were banned by Interstate Commerce Commission. So this is bananas, man. To think in 1955, we're looking at 65 years ago, that there was still segregation in buses and terminals. So we couldn't even go to the terminals. not only catch a bus, which is a much more affordable means of transportation back then. I mean, they had planes, but they weren't really affordable. We couldn't even go get on a bus and travel from Oregon to Washington because the terminals were was segregated. That's a shame. November 24th, 1960, Wilt Chamberlain, then for the Philadelphia Warriors, set an NBA record with 55 rebounds in a game. 55 of them. Some teams don't get 55 rebounds in the game in a total games today. Teams don't. He did it. And what's the argument? What's the consistent argument against Wilt Chamberlain that people have? There's like three common arguments, but
One is he played in an era where he was the biggest person and there was no competition. And the second is that he played in an era where the lane wasn't very wide. And third, he played in an era where there was a territorial draft.
Okay, so to debunk one of those arguments is he gained 55 rebounds against the Boston Celtics. So there goes one of the arguments right there, right? Pretty impressive. Another impressive feat was established November 24, 1996. Detroit Lions running back Barry Sanders set an NFL record when he recorded his 8th straight 1,000-yard game. Or 1,000-yard season. 8th straight. Consecutive. That means back to back to back to back to back to back to back. That don't mean 1,000 here, come back a couple years later, 1,000 here, come back a couple years later. That means consecutive, Cleveland. 8 of them. The actual total was 9. But
and hey, Cam, considering how some other people are awarded greatness for far less, I definitely can appreciate that consistent body of work in comparison to some other folks.
Who are you referring to, man?
Nobody. Nobody at all.
Somebody like Chris Carson, who he has consecutive games missed. Is that what you're referring to?
I was not.
Oh, I'm just trying to get an idea.
Not him at all.
You try to throw something out there, like I don't know.
I wasn't trying to throw anything out there. I was just saying 8 straight consecutive 1,000 yards. I mean, like maybe think like 16 and then 2 and 2 and then 9 and 4, or like 8 straight 1,000-yard seasons.
Like 8 straight of them. And then there was every season, I don't think it was 16 games every season. They might have moved 16 somewhere in the middle of that.
No, it was always 16, man. Come on. What are you talking about?
For Barry? It was always 16 for Barry?
Yeah. When was the last time they played 14 games, man? What, O.J. Simpson was playing?
No, man. No, man. No, I don't know if that's accurate.
They've been playing 16 games since like 1976, man. What are you talking about?
No, it is. Come on, stop it.
Come on, we're on worldwide television here, man. Let's not do this.
The NFL had played 16 games since 1978.
What are you talking about? Wow.
Good call. So you said Bill Simmons, he gets traded. Ben Simmons, that's what I meant to say. Ben Simmons gets traded soon enough, huh? Before Christmas? Is it before next month or what?
No, it's about the timeline you were talking about Martin Luther King. A little closer to trade deadline.
Okay. Crawford Porter, did you watch that fight at all? Did you see the results of it?
Saw some highlights, man. Good fight. Good win, bud.
I mean, we already knew what was going to happen there. So let's look at our picks for this season or this week, Cleveland. We both got Miami winning this game. We both have the Bears.
What? Wait, what? Hold that, man. Time. Rewind this. You got who winning the game?
Miami plays Carolina Panthers, man.
Man, return of the Cam, Daddy.
See, there's a couple games I'm hesitant to pick in here, but I got Miami because what they've shown under this Brian Flores era is they turn it on late in the season. So what they do is they kind of meander.
Well, last year they didn't turn it on late in the season. Last year they were kind of a front runner. I believe they were quite a ways ahead when they made the switch at QB. If
you remember correctly,
I think they were like 8-4 or something. Or
no, they were not.
7-3, something like that.
When they put in a young guy at quarterback last year,
okay,
like they were winning games, and they were winning games because of their defense.
They were like 7-3 though, right?
That's what people misunderstand. They were winning games last year because they were defense.
But they were like 7-3 though, right?
I think so. Yeah, something like that. But they turned it on late in the season to win some close games late in the season, and that was last year. As with the previous year when they went 10-6, and everybody was surprised with what they were doing. So the Dolphins have a tendency to turn it on late in the season, and this is what we'll see from them. They'll turn it on, and so Cam going back to see these guys again. He already owes them, but I think this is the type of game that Miami pulls out. That's why I'm picking the Dolphins.
Okay.
I got the Bears over the Lions. I got Raiders over the Cowboys. And you agree with this too?
I had the Cowboys in that one. Please change that if you.
No, excuse me. We both have Dallas over the Raiders.
Okay.
I misspoke there. I misspoke.
Cool.
Bills. We got the Bills over the Saints. The Steelers. It was kind of funny, man. I tried to get Mike Tomlin to speak the other day. I wanted to ask him, was he any other colleges reach out to him? But the way he started his press conference, I dare not ask that question. Has any other colleges reached out to you about your availability, considering your guys' record this year?
Have somebody come up to you and be like, those credentials, permanent.
Yeah.
On it. Yeah, no.
Mike wasn't having no complimentary
conversation.
Mike's
a no nonsense dude, especially after a loss like that. That was kind of heart wrenching.
No nonsense whatsoever. He did loosen up when I got him to talk about Najee Harris. He asked a
tad bit. He runs the ball well for us and he catches out of backfield.
You got the full feeling of everything, how stern and how you don't want to bring home a C or a B to that household. Man, it was pretty comical. But nonetheless, I got the Cincinnati Bengals beating those guys this week. 5-3-1.
I do as well. Let's put that on record.
Which we agree with is you riding this Indy bandwagon. You got Indy, the Indy welcoming Tampa Bay in here to just what, they're gonna sneak up behind the door and whack them over the head with the hammer or the baseball bat? What's going on?
No, they're just gonna run Jonathan Taylor down their throat. They're gonna throw enough. And they're going to make Tom Brady uncomfortable enough. Those guys don't run the ball very well. I don't know if anybody has noticed this about Tampa Bay.
That's true.
Ronald Jones II and Leonard Fournette are not going to get it done, man. I mean, they might get them to the playoffs, in which case they can scheme and do other things. It's all about matchups. But the Colts defense is not no joke. There's not going to be any, elements to be concerned with. And hey, man.
You got Jonathan
Just get up
Taylor
on those guys and see what they can do.
You got Jonathan Taylor. He does lead the NFL in rushing right now. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that or not, but Jonathan Taylor, he's had some big games, man. So that'll be interesting to see kind of what happens.
Out of a 5-touchdown game, so yeah.
You
haven't went very far to go back to when's the last time
to see what he's done.
So
the next matchup is, and it's interesting that you picked New England against Tennessee Titans. Because, I mean, we talked about the Titans and we both had them ranked in our top 5, but now the pupil is playing the teacher, right? As far as the coaches go. And then we have one guy with the consistency at the quarterback position that the pupil doesn't necessarily have there. Obviously, there's missing the biggest game changer in the game right now is Derrick Henry won't be playing in the game. But Bill Belichick, I'm interested. You got Bill Belichick taking a W over the Tennessee Titans when you don't think so highly of the Patriots.
Or everything I take the season in quarters. Right now, it's the quarter that the New England Patriots are hot. Right now, it's the quarter that the Tennessee Titans are trying to find themselves.
Listen to this guy.
Trying to find an identity without King Henry toting the rock. They have to do some other things. They have to find a way to do them effectively. It may not be successful this weekend. And unfortunately, I don't think it's going to be a success for them. However, that does
I've been
not
doing
mean
this
that
show with this
I
guy
am
for 10
all on
years.
the New
I've been
England
doing this show
Patriots
for
bandwagon.
I've been doing
I'm
this
just
show
saying
for
for this
10
quarter,
years.
the New England Patriots are, they're playing quite well. Give them
We've
credit
been
for
doing
it.
this show for 10 years, and he never mentioned a quarter that he takes the season a quarter. This has never been mentioned one time. This has never been mentioned one time.
I have been saying this for quite some time. I take this season in quarters.
Never heard this
The
before.
first four,
Ne-
the
never
second
heard
four,
this.
the
Never
third
heard this.
four, the fourth four games, man. And I break it down like
Never
that
heard this.
and
Never heard
analyze
this.
and assess what teams are capable of doing within those 4 quarters.
Never heard this in my life.
Oh my
Never
God.
heard this in my life.
Fans, pull the tape up. I say it over and over and over again. Cam knows this. It's unfortunate that he's acting like he's got some type of convenient amnesia all of a sudden, which is a travesty in its own right.
He doesn't want to give Bill any credit for what he's done. Historic great coaching he's done, dating back to the early 80s when we talked about, dating back to the game when he coached the Cleveland Browns, even before then when he coached the greatest player of all time. He doesn't want to give Bill any credit for those times. He don't want to give Bill any credit for shutting down the greatest show on turf. He wants to give him zero credit for that. He don't want to give Bill any credit for each of these 6 Super Bowls that they have won in the past 20 years. He wants to give them zero credit for that.
Fans, not zero credit. Just not the 100% credit that Cam wants to give him.
What, you want to give him 8 or 9% credit?
I'll give him credit. I'll give him as much credit as
but now we see something very similar happening up in New England with a rookie quarterback. And it pains me in so many ways. First of all, I hate the Patriots.
So I'm sorry, similar to the Super Bowl victories. Is that what you're saying?
No, what I'm saying is that we're seeing something similar to those teams and those trips to the Super Bowl.
What are you seeing similar?
A consistent play from the quarterback position, a good defense, a good running game. That's what we see.
Oh, okay.
That's exactly what we see.
Yeah, but nothing that even remotely resembles a Super Bowl team,
though. As the aforementioned Coach Tomlin that you respect so much says, we want to run the ball, we want to stop the run. That's the first strategy of winning football games. Bill Belichick adds to that.
Will you give me a slab of ribs if the New England Patriots don't make the Super Bowl this year?
Oh, I don't know putting that much on it.
No. I mean, Cam, no? See, look at him. He ran into the corner like he was a roast out his turtle lights on, man.
I'm not putting that much on what's going on.
You won't even put a slab of ribs on your Patriots. So that's how much. They're
not my Patriots.
You have on them.
They're not even my Patriots. I'm telling you what's going on in New England. I'm telling you that the good karma that's going on out there.
Okay, well, don't be comparing them. Don't put them in like Super Bowl caliber teams, man.
No, the formula for winning Super Bowls is not. Not changed.
Get out of here, man.
The formula has not changed.
Super Bowl changes every year depending on who wins the Super Bowl.
No, not for Bill Belichick. And this is what I'm trying to tell you. That's not from one of the best coaches in the NFL history. This is what I'm trying to explain to you. And that
this is not a Super Bowl team. So you cannot compare what Bill Belichick's Super Bowl winning formula is to what this team can do, because this is not a Super Bowl winning team.
I'm not going to let you keep making me defend the New England Patriots. I'm not going to fall down this rabbit hole and try to defend the New England Patriots. You understand what I'm saying? Bill Belichick is back. He has a consistent quarterback to play with. He has a consistent defense to play with, and the Patriots are back. I'm going to leave it right there. We'll revisit this later. We both had the Eagles over the Giants this week. I have Jacksonville over Atlanta. Why are you picking Matt Ryan?
It's not bad.
Why are you picking Matt Ryan?
I just don't believe in the Jacksonville Jaguars, but I mean, I would not be surprised if they won that.
I got Jacksonville winning that game. I got Jacksonville winning that game.
That's not bad.
You want to explain to the fans why you have the Jets over Houston? Jets on the road going to Houston and winning that game over the Tech.
I think the Texans are euphoric given what they were able to do last week against the Titans, and I think that's their high water mark. I think the Jets, they play hard, and if you get caught slipping and you don't really have enough to finish that, you might get caught.
Okay, in that game, I have Houston at home. I mean, these are both 2-8 teams, so there's not a lot to go on here. I just think the home field advantage is going to help Houston out, and Houston has they're revived. They have been revived, sort of, kind of, with the play of Tyrod Taylor. They're trying to live with him. They feel
Amazing what
like
happens when you don't puncture his lawn.
yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. And then they get rid of some dead weight they thought in the running back Mark Ingram, so they look to be playing with some energy and vigor. And it's a shame of you to pull up the punctured lung situation, because I have the Los Angeles Chargers traveling to Denver to beat the Broncos, but you got Teddy Bridgewater pulling that game out. I should have told Justin this. I should have asked Justin to talk to you about why you think this team is going to win, or maybe do you want to change his pick since Justin had the conversation with you? What can you explain why you have Teddy Bridgewater over the Los Angeles
I
Chargers?
like the Denver offense. I like their receivers. I like their running game. I think they'll do just enough in the cold to eke out a victory. I don't really
Okay.
trust the Chargers on the road.
Oof, that's a mouthful. He said it with confidence. We both had Green Bay over the Rams. We didn't have a chance to talk about the Odell Beckham going to the Rams, did we? That happened. That happened late
We
last week.
did, but I will touch on it very quickly and very briefly. It sounded like quite a little bit of gravy going into it when they thought Robert Woods was going to be healthy. Now that Robert Woods is out for the season,
Yeah,
Odell Beckham's level of expectation has increased exponentially, and I don't
yes.
think that he is going to be able to sustain or handle that type of pressure.
Ooh, ooh. You don't know. You don't think Odell's up for the challenge to beat Robert Woods? Ooh. Who would you say going into the season, Robert Woods is better than Odell Beckham?
No,
And so
but
now,
in this
is this what
system,
you're
the
telling? Is this
chemistry
what you're doing?
in this system, the chemistry that has been generated by the quarterback and the receiver is very hard to replicate this late in the season, and certainly with someone that needs the ball and is as needy and as much of a
Ooh,
diva number one receiver as Odell Beckham
ooh,
Jr. is, and Odell Beckham Jr. is not 100% healthy. So he's
ooh.
trying to jump on a, it was cool when he was jumping on a train that was 7-1, and they had Robert Woods and all this offense, and just picked up Vaughn, and it was just, just straight Super Bowl. But what a difference 2 weeks can make. It's like, we need you to get up to speed and understand all of the formations and understand all of the audibles and be a very integral part of this offense. I don't think he's up for the challenge. Just my personal opinion.
Ooh, that's a big mouthful. So is this Randy Moss with the Raiders in Oakland?
I don't want to go all the way to Randy Moss with the Titans because that was a horrible experience. Um, it's a fair comparison.
Randy Moss and the Raiders?
It's a fair comparison.
Ooh, Cleveland just ooh. Is this
The
some?
only difference with that one is that the Raiders' level of expectation was not like a Super Bowl, so it's
Right,
kind of hard to say like, okay,
right.
well,
That's fair.
Randy's
That's a
got to
good
do
point.
rid of this whole
That's a
thing. You
good
know what I'm
point right there.
saying?
That's a
It's
good
like when
point.
you go to a team that's 7-1, and you're supposed to be like a marquee, kind of like
Compliment.
compliment to it,
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
all of a
yeah.
sudden you're like, no, you're like the guy. That's kind of hard mid season.
What? Wow, that's crazy. So we both got Green Bay over that game. We're gonna have to keep a close eye on the Rams now. That Cleveland is speaking from there's some divisional hate that goes on with Cleveland,
Right?
and
Right.
he'll speak about the Cardinals unfairly. He'll speak about the 49ers unfairly, because they're in the same division. But then he says he says Odell Beckham will not live up to the pressure that is had from the Los Angeles Rams trying to get to the Super Bowl. That's surprising. I thought you would think that this would be his ideal situation in a big city, big market.
It was
A lot of
before Robert
ideal.
Woods got hurt.
Wow. So we'll see how things transpire there. Again, I have San Francisco over the Minnesota Vikings, but Cleveland has the Vikings for some reason. Let's talk about the divisional hate while you have the Vikings beating the
Not
Niners.
divisional hate, man.
Yeah, what else could it be?
They
Man?
were
Come
on
on.
my money line last week, so I still got a little bit of love for them. I like the way they play when Dalvin Cook is healthy. They are a handful.
So you didn't watch the Niners just completely demoralize the Rams a couple weeks ago.
I did.
You didn't watch
that, and then I watched them do the same thing slowly but surely to Jacksonville. So I definitely appreciate and respect what it is that they can do.
So where do you think Minnesota and Kirk Cousins has a chance to breathe in this game? Where do you think their success is coming from? Dalvin Cook? They're shutting Dalvin Cook down. I love Dalvin Cook, but he's getting shut down. So we'll see how this transpires. But I got San Francisco, you got Minnesota, and then we'll go from there. The Baltimore Ravens, who fans, I've told Cleveland since week 1 that the Baltimore Ravens one of the better teams in the game. Mm-hmm. I told him that. He didn't want to believe me. Cam, you don't even know who's on their defense. I told you it didn't matter.
Still don't.
It don't matter.
And you still don't.
They're one of the best teams in the NFL and have been since week 1. Now they have a couple of bad losses on the record, sure enough, but they've been consistently one of the best teams in the NFL. Definitely one of the better teams in the division. And they're having a division rival this week. And guess who's on the Baltimore bandwagon now? Yes. Oh, that would be Mr. Cleveland still picking Baltimore.
How am I on the Baltimore bandwagon?
Yeah, I don't. Did you pick the Baltimore or the Browns to win this game on Sunday? Which one did you pick?
Yeah, I picked the Baltimore Ravens to beat the Browns.
That's exactly it.
That doesn't mean I'm on their bandwagon. Come on now.
No, well, you picked them to win. Am I mistaken? Is that mistaken?
Browns. That does not put me on their bandwagon by any stretch of the imagination. And I mean, would not be surprised if they didn't win that game. Yeah, you're not throwing me on the bandwagon for that pick. Please.
See how he dodged. Now you don't even want to be associated with riding on the Baltimore Ravens bandwagon.
I made the pick. I mean, yeah, one team got to win, one team's got to lose, right? And there's a percentage and a probability of that. So yeah, I picked the Ravens.
Okay, all right. Well, we'll see what happens here, and. I mean, we talked earlier a little off script, fans, a little bit about the leash that Pete Carroll has been granted in by Seattle Seahawks fans, and it's not he won't actually have Pete Carroll apparently won't have to speak to his crimes and ineptitude for another 2 years. So Cleveland, as I have the Washington football team welcoming the Seahawks in for a beatdown. Any comment there? I mean, Pete Carroll, are they going to the White House? Are they going out for some crab cakes with the president? Like, I mean, is this kind of a vacation trip
on his own? He's not bringing the whole team. They're not worthy of that type of visit. So
but Pete Carroll does have some plans aside from the rest of the team.
I don't know what Pete Carroll's plans are.
Pete Carroll is out there gallivanting across the country.
Grab a bite somewhere. I don't know.
That sounds about like Pete to go out and kick it with and leave his team behind. That sounds about like Pete.
Well, I mean, he would bring them if they were worthy of making a visit to the White House, but now they're not.
Now they're not worthy of walking.
I mean, when Barack Obama was in office, they certainly did do it then.
Now they're not worthy of walking through the White House.
I think it was it Sherm or Russ that gave Obama that Seahawks jersey with the 4-4 on it. It's pretty fly.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. That was a long. Russell or Sherman.
Everything's a long time ago with this guy.
Yeah, Russell or Sherman.
A long time ago with this guy.
Russell or Sherman.
Talk about the teams that he follows.
Russell or Sherman is not walking through that door.
Long time ago.
Russell and Sherman is not walking through that door. So Biden doesn't have
Oh
a.
no, Russ still walks through the door. Sherm's not walking through the door.
I don't think Biden should be expecting the Seahawks jersey this weekend. That's for sure. That's for sure. Um, but nonetheless, we both have Washington football team picking this game. I have Miami for my confidence or my picks against the spread. I got Miami winning. I went with them in the pick segment, so I'm gonna go with them against points against the spread. They're getting a point and a half. I got Jacksonville. Again, I said they're gonna beat Atlanta. That's a point and a half, and then I got the Chargers. And you got who you got, Cleveland? What I see? Minnesota, Denver, and Indy.
Yeah. I'm gonna put mad cheese on that one.
I don't put too much on there. Don't put too much. Don't put too much on there.
That one looks
Minnesota,
delicious.
Denver, and oof. I mean, it's a big call for Indy. I think I would put the most money on that because that should be the better payout. The Colts winning. So, but I wouldn't put Denver. Denver's not getting a W. Minnesota, I don't think is getting a W, bro. I'm sorry. Sorry to tell you. A confidence picks. See, in your confidence pick, you have no confidence in Minnesota, Denver, or Indy. I noticed that in your confidence pick. And look, lo and behold, look, who do you have the most confidence in winning this week? You want to tell the people that?
No, what's song, Cam? Who is it?
The New England Patriots. So all that crap he's talking about, the New England Patriots, he has the most confidence in them winning this week. Atlanta, Dallas, and Buffalo, and then Baltimore. There you go. See, that's the wagon I'm talking about. I got Chicago, Baltimore, Chicago 4 point, Baltimore for 2 points, Buffalo for 3 points, the Chargers for 4, and the Patriots for 5 points. That's how it breaks out this for this week.
Yeah, the Chargers for 4 points.
4 points. Okay. Yeah, just the only team I'm more confident in winning is New England Patriots. All in. Fans, well, thank you guys for tuning in this week, man. This has been a great show. Want to thank our guests for joining us, Justin Jones of the Los Angeles Chargers. Want to thank Cleveland for his time that he spends working on the show. Cleveland, thank you. Cleveland, let the people know where they can find you on social media.
At Clevie Wonder on Twitter and Cleveland Steel on Instagram.
And you can find me, your man Cam, at What's Good in Sport. That's What's Good, the letter N Sport, singular, on Twitter. Voice of Fans on Instagram. Voice of Fans on Instagram. And want to thank you again, fans, for tuning in. Make sure you tell a friend and tell a friend. Give a shout out to the guys at HMB Media for doing the producing of the show. And we will see you guys next week. And lastly, I want to say, as always, be sure to subscribe, rate, and review our podcast. And then, as always, fans, thank you for making our voice your choice. Cleveland, thanks for your time, big guy. Talk to you soon.
Right on, bro. Talk soon.
Man.